Hey y'all, I hope you are having a great Tuesday. I just want to share some stuff with you today about wisdom. Now, this is one of those do as I say, not as I do moments, but when I was in college, I was in a college algebra class, and I had not studied very well for an exam that was coming up. And so I had honestly kind of forgotten the exam was taking place. So when I walked into class the next morning, our professor puts the exam on my desk. Having not studied or looked at it or anything like that, I just sort of panicked. And instead, I picked up my exam with nothing on it, handed it back to her, and walked out because I didn't know what else. I knew nothing on the exam. And so when I get back the following class period, she hands it to me, and there is a -5 on the exam. Not a 0, a -5. I scored less than 0. And the reason why is because I had failed to even put my name on it, and she counted off 5 points for no name, right? And so here's my point. Oftentimes, if we try to do things our way or in our own wisdom, it usually ends up messing things up. And what happens is, if you trust in your own understanding, if you trust in your own way of thinking, if you trust in your own power to sort of navigate through all the channels of life, it usually results in some pretty severe consequences. For me, I actually ended up having to drop that class and having to retake it the next semester. So what we have to do is understand that the wisdom of the world does not supersede the wisdom that can only come from above through the Father. And so I want to read this to you. This is Proverbs chapter 3. And it's probably a verse that you're familiar with, but if you're not, then I just want you to hear this. But it says this, Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding, and in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make straight your paths. What a great reminder for us that we cannot lean on our own understanding. We can't lean on our own wisdom. We can't lean on our own hopes, right? And the reason why is because they'll eventually crumble. They don't last. They're not designed to be the end. They're great sometimes, and they have some value. But what we have to do is consistently remind ourselves to lean on him, to trust in Jesus, to follow his statutes. One of the things that I hear Christians say all the time, and it's horribly misquoted, and it's not biblical, is that God won't give you more than you can handle. And what I want you to know is, yeah, he will. God will always give you more than you can handle, because God wants you to rely on him. He wants you to trust in him. He wants you to lean on him and not on your own understanding. And what does it tell us? It says, and in all your ways, acknowledge him. Acknowledge that he's God and you're not. Acknowledge that he has a plan that's better for you than your own. Acknowledge that his desire for you is far greater than any desire that you could have for your own life or for anything else. And then I love that it ends, and he will make straight your paths. He's the one that not only tells us where to go, he's the one that leads us where to go. And so I pray and I hope that today that you will do that, that you will lean not on yourself, but rather you will lean into the Lord. The plans that you have for yourself, the goals, the ambitions that you want in your life, I promise you they are far less than what God has for you if you will simply quit trying to figure it all out on your own and trust in him. I know it's difficult. I know that our natural inclination is to do what we want to do, but I want you to understand that the only way that you are ever going to live a life that is completely fulfilled, full of joy and God honoring, is by leaning on him and not leaning on yourself. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. God bless y'all. Love y'all.